Hey guys, if you still remember me, it's Lawnmowers 14. Steven here on October 17th, Wednesday of 2018. And I haven't made some videos in quite some time. But we're going to get back in the swing of things, and I hope to be able to teach people a few things about small engines and how-to videos, and maybe save you some money rather than taking your whatever it is that needs repaired somewhere to have it fixed. So, I figured today, since it's fall, doing a lot of wood cutting, I'm going to show you how to keep an Echo chainsaw, one of the lower end saws that Home Depot sells, in top-notch running condition. Okay, this is particularly one of the saws that I'm talking about. This is going to be the one that I use for the demonstration today. It's an 18-inch CS400 model with a it's got an air filter style similar to like what you would see on a lawnmower engine, which is why I like it. Easy to maintain, easy to clean. You don't need any bolts or screws or screwdrivers to get off. Now, this chainsaw has been ran a lot, so we're going to use this one as a demonstration to show you how to clean it up. As you can see down in where the oiler is and the clutch, it's all filled with sawdust. So we're going to keep that area clean, and we're going to use an air compressor to clean this machine off, and then I'm going to show you how to sharpen the chain using a Dremel tool. So we're going to use 13mm socket or 1/2-inch wrench, or your chainsaw tool. I don't have mine on me, so I'm just going to use a socket. We're going to loosen these two nuts and take this side panel off. We're going to take this top panel off, and then we're going to take it over to the air compressor and blow it all out. I'll be right back. Alright, so now that we got the chainsaw blown out and put back together, I'm going to show you how to properly tighten your chain. I might keep mine a little less tight than most people do, because I don't like wearing the sprocket out on the bar. And I'd rather have to tighten the chain than it wear the bar out. So I'm going to show you how to properly tighten the chain, and then I'm going to show you how to sharpen the chain. What you're going to do is you're going to turn this clockwise until you see the bottom of that chain start to get tight. You'll see it sliding up. It's coming up right now. And then what you do is, you should have a pair of gloves on when you do this, but I spin it by hand. Like, see, that's obviously too loose. So we'll give it another, I don't know, half a turn to a turn. That's alright. We'll go a little bit tighter. It's hard to do this with one hand. Okay. Yeah, that feels pretty good, almost. So after you get it, you want it to have a little bit of like, a little bit of life flash to it. But you don't want it to be so tight where it's so stiff to turn. Obviously, you don't want to do it with the brake on. You want to do it with the brake off. And then once you get it where you want it, you're then going to tighten these two nuts fully tight. Okay? Then, is what I do is I take this sprocket bar grease, and there's a little hole down here on the end of the bar. You're going to push this down in here like this until you see this blue grease come out on both sides of the bar. Now, you should always grease this every time you fill your chainsaw up with oil and gas. Okay? Let's get on to sharpening. Now, when it comes to sharpening, I use a Sharpie and I scribble it over one of the teeth so I know where I started. Now, I know a lot of people use the hand files to sharpen these, which is nothing's wrong with that. I just use the electric one. It's quicker, but if you're out in the woods where you don't have electric, obviously the file is going to do the job. So I've got it marked. Let me get the camera set up here and I'll show you how we're going to do her. So for this particular model chainsaw and the type of chain that it runs, this is a 5/32 bit. You can find it in the chainsaw sharpening section, and if I get close enough, you'll see the 30-degree angle lines. So we're going to start with the one I marked. Let me see if it'll focus in. So you just want to, keep your tooth in line. Use this 30-degree line and keep this line here in line with your bar. You don't want to be like this, you want to be like this, right in line. Now I kind of go back and forth a little bit like this as I'm sharpening it, and it only takes a little bit of time, so watch. So just like that, and you'll feel it. You don't want to wear it out. I mean, you sharpen the shit out of it. Just needs a light sharpening, unless you hit nails or something where you really mess up the teeth on it. But for the most part, they just need a light sharpening. That's why you can use a file most of the time, and it just like couples, even if you're using a file like this. So we'll go down on to the next one. Now on a file, you're not going to get your you know, your angle marks, but you just go in line with the saw. Yeah, and it's already sharp. So I'll do that, and then when you go to the other side here, you spin your saw around, and you're going to use the other 30-degree angle mark. So you know that one's done now. Now we're going to move on to this one, and we're going to use this line and keep this line in line with the bar and go back and forth with it a little bit until you circle the chain around. You come back to where you started with your Sharpie. Okie dokie, let's get her sharp, and then we'll go take it out and cut a log. Alright, we're going to cut a couple pieces of them ash over there. They're not the biggest pieces, but we're just going to fire it up, turn it on, pull the choke, give it about 4 pumps. Once it attempts to start, you push the choke in all the way and it should start on the second pull. It's only about 40 degrees today, so I'm going to let it warm up a little bit. So, you'll see, the best way to tell how sharpened your saw is to look at the sawdust chips. The bigger the chips, the nice sharpness of your chain. You start getting real fine sawdust chips, then you're gonna need to sharpen the chain. A couple of the pieces I was cutting there were right where it knots off, so it was a little stiff, but ash is a hard wood, so don't expect it to just go right through it. But that's all I have for today. I highly recommend this saw for a low use to moderate use, and hopefully I can find some more videos to make for you pretty soon. It's a pretty windy day today, so I hope you enjoyed this video. And thanks for watching, and please subscribe.